is a song about an old flame coming back and asking for another chance, and me saying no. You've been safe and sound. I've been here working. It's not actually a situation that really happened to me, it's just something I was kind of pondering. What if one of my ex-girlfriends rocked up one day saying she wanted another go, and explored my feelings on that fictitious scenario. Writing All Worn Down was a lot like the rest of the songs on the album. It happened pretty quickly. Once I spark off an idea, the songs just seem to write themselves. I sort of, struggle to get that initial inspiration, and that can take months, but when that idea kicks in and the momentum builds, it unfolds very quickly. So All Worn Down was actually written all in one day, and for me that looks like sitting in my dark little studio on my own with my keyboard and playing with different sounds in my sound banks and playing with different chords and just trying to find that right combination of chords and rhythm that will inspire a vocal melody and lyrics to kind of unfold. The process after that for me is I'll start singing nonsense, just making up random words, and I'm not thinking too much about the story at the beginning, just the sounds and the words that kind of rhyme and feel right rhythmically, and then I can edit that into something later that makes a bit more sense, but I find a lot of the time that it will make sense without trying to make it make sense. And this is the case with All Worn Down. I was really lucky with All Worn Down as a recording process, because as I wrote it, I was sort of pre-producing it, selecting the synth sounds and the keyboard sounds and the drum sounds and doing it all in the box with my computer and my keyboard. So by the time that the song was written, it had already really taken shape as a production, and then I just had to make the decision, okay, well, which elements am I going to layer up with live musicians, which ones am I going to play myself, who am I going to get to come in and help me. The only other performers on the song were Chris Palmer, who played the acoustic guitar licks in the verses, and Omar Hanlon, who played the bass guitar. And I was also lucky when I recorded the first demo vocal part that the high note that I hit at the end was a complete accident. I was just kind of trying to do something different, and I went for it and I hit the note and nailed it. And I'd never sung a note that high before in my chest voice. So that was pretty exciting for me to listen back to and go, oh wow, I've just crossed a new threshold. The only problem I had was we recorded all of the vocals for the album in 2 days, and by the end of the day, my voice was starting to falter a bit, so I actually had to give it about 20 takes to get that note for real in the end, and I managed, and I'm really happy about that, because every time I've done it live, I've had to sort of cop out and go into my head voice. So I guess that's the only hiccup that the whole process had, was just trying to reproduce that note a second time. And fortunately I've been able to do it many times since. I went through a few different phases in what I felt the first single should be, but when I finished writing All Worn Down, it just kind of assumed that position and it's stuck there, and people tell me it's catchy, so I'm hoping that the audience of the world catches on in the same way. For the All Worn Down video, I had a pretty loose idea in my mind that I wanted to do a multi-pass shoot where I was each member of the band. There was always going to be 5 members of the band, because that sort of represents each instrument that I play. So I started scouting for a location, and I put the word out on Facebook to all my friends and connections, and I spent some weeks looking around. And then one morning I went down to my brother-in-law's gym in Murwillumbah, and I was just doing my workout that I do there each week, and then I looked around and I suddenly realised that this gym space. The downstairs area had this amazing graffiti art on the wall and these beautiful green pillars that were all making a perfect line of perspective. And I sort of suddenly had this spark of imagination where I could see what it would look like under controlled lighting at night, and that, you know, if we cleared the space, it'd be an amazing space to shoot in. So luckily it's 15 minutes away from my house, and my brother-in-law owns the place, so it wasn't much trouble getting in there. So we just moved all of that gym gear into this space. I don't think these guys were quite prepared, because I didn't really tell them that's what we were doing. I know that's a bit evil of me, but somehow I believed that I was going to be able to do it all by myself in half an hour before they got here. I organised our cinematographer Dominic Munch and our lighting director Sam McNeely, and we got Josh Colombo, who's one of the artists on our label, to come down and help out as well, so that he could sort of get a feel for the experience of making a video, and also we needed some helping hands. So he came down, and my wife was there, and my son were on set as well the whole night. We got in at 5:30 p.m. when the last gym member left, and started lugging the gear in, moving all of the gym equipment. We moved about 30 pieces of very, very heavy equipment, and this is 4 pretty skinny, artistic blokes kind of trying to, you know, wield these giant machines around the room. So that was a pretty intense process.
Do you play the drums, James?
Yes.
Good to know.
Not very well. I play a lot of key drums. So when we finally had everything in place after about 4 or 5 hours of setting up, we turned on the lights that we'd set up, and the space just came alive. It was just incredible, the shadows and the little pockets of light we were able to create. And then when we blew some mist into the space, it just, yeah, gave it so much texture and depth. It was really, really exciting to see this, you know, maybe realistic vision I had in my head of the space turn into something incredible. So shooting was quite a long process, not because what I was doing on screen was particularly hard. I was really just sort of getting into each character, but because we had to change my costume and stage by stage remove my facial hair and head hair, it took a bit of time. I'd grown my beard and my hair for several weeks before we shot the video, and so the first character we shot was the bassist, who was quite furry and fuzzy and dishevelled. And then after the bassist, we shot myself as the lead singer with my usual sort of more chiseled beard and shorter hair and this hat. And our clippers failed on us, so that was quite an irritating thing to occur when it was really pivotal to the shoot to have working hair clippers. They did work, but they pulled more hair out than they cut. So it was quite a painful process, but this is what we do for our art sometimes. What I'm really doing is making the drums get quieter, so that when I'm bashing it with sticks during the shoot, we can stand it for a bit longer. Yes. Uncle Chopper's in town, better watch out, kids. Wrong arm, start again. Can't do that anymore.
Oh my god! Look at your guns! You just put a tattoo, you just went and chopped some bikie's arm off and just stuck it to your shoulder. That's why there's that big bikie war up in Surfers at the moment. They're all trying to hunt down the man that stole their mate's arm. And here we are hiding out in the basement of some gym in Wollumbar, making a video clip about it.
You've got a vivid imagination, you know.
Just show off the arm.
No pain, no gain, let's do it!
Alright, hang on, I gotta put my boots on.
Just
Wife says I gotta put my boots on.
You've even got a graze on your knee.
I'm so fucking badass.
Check it out, man.
Hang on. Tough guys can't be married.
All I'm saying is someone who keeps coming up with reasons not to use the gym equipment. I'm just looking at his face. He's got form and technique in his face. That's how pro he is.
Gillette, the best a man can... Wait, shit. Oh. Let's make music history. So yeah, long process with all of the costume and hair and makeup changes throughout the night, and in the end we shot all 5 characters, packed everything up, and put all the gym equipment back in what we thought was the right position by 5:30 a.m. So 12 hours in total across the night. And just as we were leaving, the first gym members were coming in for the morning. And as the staff were arriving, I had this feeling, this niggling feeling that we'd made a few mistakes in putting all the gym gear back. So I asked one of the staff members to come down and have a look, and her face went a bit pale when she saw what I'd done. We'd put everything back in the wrong place. They were pretty cheerful about it, and they managed to get it all back into place before the morning flurry. So it was a really exhausting process shooting the video. It was a really long night with a fair bit of heavy lifting. But when I watched the footage back in the editing suite the next day, I was pretty excited because it just worked perfectly. We just had everything we needed. So I tend to get pretty manic when I'm editing a video, and days will just disappear, and I'll know that it's time for a break when my back starts to hurt because I've just been sitting at the computer for 3 days straight. So I managed to actually get the whole thing edited and finished within a week of the shoot because I just went crazy. My biggest hope for All Worn Down as a single is that it showcases my talent as a singer and a songwriter and producer, and that people get a sense of the kind of fun I want to bring to the dance floor and to listeners' stereos. And I also hope that All Worn Down for me is an opportunity to make some new friends and fans, because it's a new direction for me in terms of writing, and a slightly new production style from my background with the band. And I'm hoping that opens the doorway to connect with a lot more people. Yeah.